So good. But anyway, yes, from this draft thing, I believe it's going to be we may not be seeing certain that much unless the opportunity calls for it either. Because also realizing that geek fans that just like nobody's farming meta. Just don't want to farm up and try to close the game in the game. If they can't close it up, they'll try to drag it on a little more, let him farm a little bit more. That's pretty. Why when that surprise Lunok came out in yesterday's game, they just sort of realized that hey, this is really funny. Very unique, but when they couldn't close out mid-game and they dragged towards the late game, then Lunok's really scaled off. By the way, audience prediction, my lord, it is 58 to 42%. That's a lot better compared. Like Saturday and Friday's one, where it was very much a landslide in somebody's favor. At least this is a little bit more even, but the Geek Fam community has come together to try and give that extra, that extra 8% to bring it over that middle mark. However, whether they're right or wrong, we're not entirely sure because Geek Fam did have a little bit of a shaky start. RSG looks a little bit cleaner. However, there were certain picks that kind of took them off guard when they were up against more score. Most notably, Lunox. The way that they put it in their interview, it's like they so happen to be really good, and it so happens to be pretty effective against their composition. So I'm not entirely sure whether they're as good a form as they, appear to be. And that game was just I guess it was really in their favor, especially with the lineup, because the game just started going towards this late game, so it's really cool down in the mid game. So then each team basically the concept is if one team is farming, then the other team does good. And with their lineup, they managed to bring up the game. And I believe at that point, just realize with the Roger, with Lunok, with the Raiders, it's so hard to hit the hit without the Raiders because of this. So now in this drafting, what I'm really curious is, or maybe we may not be able to see it, we might not see a lot. We might see a little bit more on that one becoming I feel like LY4 is still gonna revert to the Yishin shit. Yeah, I feel like there's no reason not to go unless the enemy team bans it. So I feel like Geek Fam, if they really wanted to look to punish, they could look to mess with the lineup of RSG and their dedicated roles by like forcing them to play as assassins. Now LY4 has to play assassin. What does Jason do? What kind of support can he play? Is he capable of playing that support? And where does Sync come in to kind of fill the gap? Anyway, Geek Fans going to be starting on the blue side, so they will have first pick and first ban, instantly getting rid of Altars in this manner. Not going to give KZP that chance to play that Altars. Researchers on the other hand going to be following up with this Cho. Now, very interesting. With them banning Cho first, instantly going for it. Any particular reason?
I mean, two big reasons. The first one being Cho being a really strong flex pick.
I was just about to ask you, right? Like, what about Rumble playing this Hilda, right? But they instantly ban it. I'm like, well, no, never mind. They're not gonna give the Hilda at all. Last ban, Resurgence. Yesterday they had been banning
quite a number of things.
Quite a number of things. Yeah,
it really depends.
It's really depending here. By the way, a lot of you in the pool here. Geek Fam, yes. Will Geek Fam first block in this Khalid?
I'm pretty sure they can first pick Khalid here. Ours has been very consistent up in his own thing so far. It might change, so we don't know whether or not he's going to be able to deal with Jason, who absolutely trashed the competition yesterday here. But now, hovering over the Gushin, we're seeing the last. We all know. No, there's no way he's playing Gushin. Not in this. It wouldn't make sense.
Gushin is not really sure on this meta either, but no. There we go. Oh, actually, they're gonna have Selena here.
A lot of pressure coming in, but Yusuf is going to be coming into the mix, followed by the Kali.
Yeah, this is interesting because we don't have. Well, I mean, technically, all the players could play Selena, but you know, the most notable one being Dominus. You know that he can dominate with the Selena, but the fact that they're having Rumble in, who is going to be playing that Selena? Is Rumble? Take that mantle and fill up the shoes that Dominus left when they are doing the sub? Or is Zoraveki or Zorn going to bite the bullet and be like, all right, you know what, I got this, I'm going to take one for the team?
I mean, this is pretty much why I asked you a little bit earlier, right? Maybe in this game, this later part of the stage, they just might want to try and let Rumble try the testing out. Should they want to try a roll against other players to see how effective is it going to be, especially going up against Team Resurgence. But Uranus always, hands down, will always be one of the most basis and really strong. Because we know from the patch, his early game is definitely not as strong, and we're witnessing firsthand from how Jason dealt against a Uranus in the early game.
Well, I don't want to give him too much
not
credit.
Too much credit.
I would say he was doing everything right. I would say that his opponent really needed to start. Thinking about when he starts with that matchup, and it's definitely not at level 1, especially with the Uranus versus Dominus matchup. However, I will kind of want to make sure to preface this that those who don't know what we're talking about, please go watch that VOD. It was a really good game.
It was so good, especially the gacha execute.
Yep. So make sure check out those games coming in from Saturday. A lot of interesting things because we are not going to reference. We are not going to be like, oh, we're pulling up this clip to when he did it. Nah, we're doing none of that.
Yeah, you're just gonna like just trying to understand what we're trying to talk about, how amazing that actually is. But anyway, coming back into it, is it Jason's? Or is it Sana's?
I'm confident that it's Jason's. There's no reason to give it all over to Sana's. Actually, you know what? Sana actually could play it as well. That is a fair point.
That's exactly why I'm asking, because both of them has always been switching in between finals here.
And especially since most of their compositions have been revolving around the 1-3-1 formation and opening, it does make sense, yeah. But let's see what the rest of the draft have to say. The Thamos is getting banned out here, making sure that, you know, in a 1-3-1 you want to have ends of the map just to kind of hold their own. Right now, GeekFam has Uranus being the biggest brick wall in the world. Resurgence, on the other hand, they've got a really aggressive early game fighter that has some playmaking capabilities with the Raging Sands in the Khalid. So now that they're cutting out the fighter option, Thomas is going off, Esmeralda is going off the counter pick to the Uranus, and then, well, maybe to a certain extent, Selena, but like even then, I would still say a good counter to deal with the Uranus.
Last ban, okay. For now, we really can sort of like prioritize like after the first 3 bans, literally on this second ban phase, ban of the Thamos, they really want to try to zone out, like you said, as much as those fighting capabilities as much as possible. But do they want to target this hyper carry content?
I don't think they necessarily have to. I feel like the hyper carries are just too big of a pool to deal with. So I think for Resurgence's side, they probably want to ban out the Valir or something with some strong wave field. They have the Kakura from the cell. Loyi as well. That's also a really good shout. If they could get both of them out, that would be really ideal. But they're really hoping that GeekFam takes one of them out of the picture.
Roger. No, but I guess Roger is really great as well. Like literally, if you think about it, right, all this fast pace, Popo, the minute he catches anyone midway or even in the early game, well, Roger does just really great at the scaling and just jumping right into the fight and constantly kiting back and forth. Final ban, but also final ban coming from Cyber King. Back.
GeekFam banning out the Boxia this time round. So yeah, they're making sure that Uranus is gonna have really taking away the couplings, you know, anything that could limit the Uranus and not do his job. They're making sure that